Leviticus chapters 24 and 25. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Charge the children of Israel, and let them take for thee pure olive oil beaten for the light, to burn a lamp continually, outside the veil in the tabernacle of witness. And Aaron and his sons shall burn it from evening until morning before the Lord continually, a perpetual statute throughout your generations. You shall burn the lamps on the pure lampstand before the Lord till the morrow. You shall take the fine flour, and make of it 12 loaves. Each loaf shall be 2/10 parts. And you shall put them in 2 rows, each row containing 6 loaves, on the pure table before the Lord. And ye shall put on each row pure frankincense and salt. And these things shall be for loaves for a memorial, set forth before the Lord. On the Sabbath day they shall be set forth before the Lord continually, before the children of Israel, for an everlasting covenant. They shall be for Aaron and his sons, and they shall eat them in the holy place. For this is their most holy portion of the offerings made to the Lord, a perpetual statute. And there went forth a son of an Israelitish woman, and he was the son of an Egyptian man among the sons of Israel. And they fought in the camp, the son of the Israelitish woman, and a man who was an Israelite. And the son of the Israelitish woman named the name, and cursed. And they brought him to Moses. And his mother's name was Salomith, daughter of Dabri of the tribe of Dan. And they put him in ward, to judge him by command of the Lord. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Bring forth him that cursed outside the camp, and all who heard shall lay their hands upon his head, and all the congregation shall stone him. And speak to the sons of Israel, and thou shalt say to them, Whosoever shall curse God shall bear his sin. And he that names the name of the Lord, let him die the death. Let all the congregation of Israel stone him with stones, whether he be a stranger or a native. Let him die for naming the name of the Lord. And whosoever shall smite a man, and he die, let him die the death. Whosoever shall smite a beast, and it shall die, let him render life for life. And whosoever shall inflict a blemish on his neighbor, as he has done to him, so shall it be done to himself in return. Bruise for bruise, eye for eye, tooth for tooth. As any one may inflict a blemish on a man, so shall it be rendered to him. Whosoever shall smite a man, and he shall die, let him die the death. There shall be one judgment for the stranger and the native, for I am the Lord your God. And Moses spoke to the children of Israel, and they brought him that had cursed out the camp, and stoned him with stones. And the children of Israel did as the Lord commanded Moses. And the Lord spoke to Moses in the Mount Sinai, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, and thou shalt say to them, Whensoever ye shall have entered into the land which I give to you, then the land shall rest which I give to you, for it Sabbath to the Lord. 6 years thou shalt sow thy field, and 6 years thou shalt prune thy vine, and gather in its fruit. But in the 7th year shall be a Sabbath. It shall be a rest to the land, a Sabbath to the Lord. Thou shalt not sow thy field, and thou shalt not prune thy vine, and thou shalt not gather the spontaneous produce of thy field, and thou shalt not gather fully the grapes of thy dedication. It shall be a year of rest to the land. And the Sabbaths of the land shall be for food for thee, and for thy manservant, and for thy maidservant, and thy hireling, and the stranger that abides with thee, and for thy cattle, and for the wild beasts that are in thy land, shall every food of it be food. And thou shalt reckon to thyself 7 Sabbaths of years, 7 times 7 years, and they shall be to thee 7 weeks of years, 49 years. In the 7th month, on the 10th day of the month, ye shall make a proclamation with the sound of a trumpet in all your land. On the day of atonement, ye shall make a proclamation with a trumpet in all your land. And ye shall sanctify the year, the 50th year, and ye shall proclaim a release upon the land to all that inhabit it. It shall be given a year of release, a jubilee for you. And each one shall depart to his possession, and ye shall go each to his family. This is a jubilee of release. The year shall be to you the 50th year. Ye shall not sow, nor reap the produce that comes of itself from the land, neither shall ye gather its dedicated fruits. For it is a jubilee of release. It shall be holy to you. Ye shall eat its fruits off the fields. In the year of release, even the jubilee of it, shall each one return to his possession. And if thou shouldest sell a possession to thy neighbor, or if thou shouldest buy of thy neighbor, let not a man oppress his neighbor. According to the number of years after the Jubilee shalt thou buy of thy neighbor. According to the number of years of the fruits shall he sell to thee. According as there may be a greater number of years, he shall increase the value of his possession. And according as there may be a less number of years, he shall lessen the value of his possession. For according to the number of his crops, so shall he sell to thee. Let not a man oppress his neighbor. And thou shalt fear the Lord thy God. I am the Lord thy God. And ye shall keep all my ordinances and all my judgments, and do ye observe them, and you shall keep them, and dwell securely in the land. And the land shall yield her increase, and ye shall eat to fullness, and shall dwell securely in it. And if you should say, What shall we eat in the 7th year, if we do not sow, nor gather in our fruits? Then will I send my blessing upon you in the 6th year, and the land shall produce its fruit for 3 years. And ye shall sow in the 8th year, and eat old fruits till the 9th year, until its fruit come. Ye shall eat old fruits of the old. And the land shall not be sold for a permanence, for the land is mine, because ye are strangers and sojourners before me. And in every land of your possession ye shall allow ransoms for the land. If thy brother who is with thee be poor, and should have sold part of his possession, and his kinsman who is nigh to him come, then he shall redeem the possession which his brother has sold. And if one have no near kinsman, and he prosper with his hand, and he find sufficient money, even his ransom, then shall he calculate the years of his sale, and he shall give what is due to the man to whom he sold it. And he shall return to his possession. But if his hand have not prospered sufficiently, so as that he should restore the money to him, then he that bought the possession shall have them till the 6th year of the release, and it shall go out in the release, and the owner shall return to his possession. And if anyone should sell an inhabited house in a walled city, then there shall be the ransom for it, until the time is fulfilled. Its time of ransom shall be a full year. And if it be not ransomed until there be completed of its time for a full year, the house which is in the walled city shall be surely confirmed to him that bought it, throughout the generations, and it shall not go out in the release. But the houses in the villages, which have not a wall round about them, shall be reckoned as the fields of the country. They shall always be redeemable, and they shall go out in the release. And the cities of the Levites, the houses of the cities in their possession, shall be always redeemable to the Levites. And if anyone shall redeem a house of the Levites, then their sale of the house of their possession go out in the release, because the houses of the cities of the Levites are their possession in the midst of the children of Israel. And the land set apart for their cities shall not be sold, because this is their perpetual possession. And if thy brother who is with thee become poor, and he fail in resources with thee, thou shalt help him as a stranger and a sojourner, and thy brother shall live with thee. Thou shalt not receive from him interest nor increase, and thou shalt fear thy God. I am the Lord, and thy brother shall live with thee. Thou shalt not lend thy money to him at interest, and thou shalt not lend thy meat to him to be returned with increase. I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, to give you the land of Canaan, so as to be your God. And if thy brother by thee be lowered, and be sold to thee, he shall not serve thee with the servitude of a slave. He shall be with thee as a hireling or a sojourner. He shall work for thee till the year of release, and he shall go out in the release, and his children with him, and he shall go to his family. He shall hasten back to his patrimony, because these are my servants, whom I brought out of the land of Egypt. Such a one shall not be sold as a common servant. Thou shalt not oppress him with labor, and shalt fear the Lord thy God. And whatever number of men servants and maidservants thou shalt have, thou shalt purchase male and female, servants from the nations that are round about thee. Now the sons of the sojourners that are among you, of these ye shall buy, and of their relations, all that shall be in your lands. Let them be to you for a possession. And ye shall distribute them to your children after you, and they shall be to you permanent possessions forever. But of your brethren, the children of Israel, one shall not oppress his brother in labors. And if a stranger or sojourner with thee wax rich, and thy brother in distress be sold to the stranger or the sojourner that is with thee, or to a proselyte by extraction, after he is sold to him, there shall be redemption for him. One of his brethren shall redeem him. A brother of his father, or a son of his father's brother, shall redeem him. Or let one of his near kin of his tribe redeem him. And if he should be rich and redeem himself, then shall he calculate with his purchaser from the year that he sold himself to him until the year of release. And the money of his purchase shall be as that of a hireling. He shall be with him from year to year. And if any have a greater number of years than enough, according to these, he shall pay his ransom out of his purchase money. And if but a little time be left of the years to the year of release, then shall he reckon to him according to his years, and shall pay his ransom, as a hireling. He shall be with him from year to year. Thou shalt not oppress him with labor before thee. And if he do not pay his ransom accordingly, he shall go out in the year of his release, he and his children with him. For the children of Israel are my servants, they are my attendants, whom I brought out of the land of Egypt. Psalm 37, 38 in Hebrew, verses 11 through 22. My friends and my neighbors drew near before me and stood still, and my nearest of kin stood afar off. While they pressed hard upon me that sought my soul, and they that sought my hurt spoke vanities, and devised deceits all the day. But I as a deaf man heard not, and was as a dumb man, not opening his mouth. And I was as a man that hears not, and who has no reproofs in his mouth. For I hoped in thee, O Lord. Thou wilt hear, O Lord my God. For I said, lest mine enemies rejoice against me. For my feet were moved, they spoke boastingly against me. For I am ready for plagues, and my grief is continually before me. For I will declare mine iniquity, and be distressed for my sins. But mine enemies live, and are mightier than I, and they that hate me unjustly are multiplied. They that reward evil for good slandered me, because I followed righteousness. Forsake me not, O Lord my God. Depart not from me. Draw nigh to my help, O Lord my salvation. Proverbs chapter 8, verses 6 through 10. Hearken to me, for I will speak solemn truths, and will produce right sayings from my lips. For my throat shall meditate truth, and false lips are an abomination before me. All the words of my mouth are in righteousness. There is nothing in them wrong or perverse. They are all evident to those that understand, and right to those that find knowledge. Receive instruction, and not silver, and knowledge, rather than tried gold. The Holy Gospel according to St. Matthew, chapter 26, verses 1 through 25. And it came to pass, when Jesus had finished all these sayings, he said unto his disciples, Ye know that after 2 days is the feast of the Passover, and the Son of Man is betrayed to be crucified. Then assembled together the chief priests, and the scribes, and the elders of the people, unto the palace of the high priest, who was called Caiaphas, and consulted that they might take Jesus by subtlety, and kill him. But they said, Not on the feast day, lest there be an uproar among the people. Now when Jesus was in Bethany, in the house of Simon the leper, there came unto him a woman, having an alabaster box of very precious ointment, and poured it on his head as he sat at meat. But when his disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, To what purpose is this waste? For this ointment might have been sold for much, and given to the poor. When Jesus understood it, he said unto them, Why trouble ye the woman? For she hath wrought a good work upon me. For ye have the poor always with you, but me ye have not always. For in that she hath poured this ointment on my body, she did it for my burial. Verily, I say unto you, wheresoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there shall also this, that this woman hath done, be told for a memorial to her. Then one of the 12, called Judas Iscariot, went unto the chief priests, and said unto them, What will ye give me, and I will deliver him unto you? And they covenanted with him for 30 pieces of silver. And from that time he sought opportunity to betray him. Now the first day of the feast of unleavened bread, the disciples came to Jesus, saying unto him, Where wilt thou that we prepare for thee to eat the Passover? And he said, Go into the city to such a man, and say unto him, The Master saith, My time is at hand, and I will keep the Passover at thy house with my disciples. And the disciples did as Jesus had appointed them, and they made ready the Passover. Now when the even was come, he sat down with the 12. And as they did eat, he said, Verily, I say unto you, that one of you shall betray me. And they were exceeding sorrowful, and began every one of them to say unto him, Lord, is it I? And he answered and said, He that dippeth his hand with me in the dish, the same shall betray me. The Son of Man goeth as it is written of him. But woe unto that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It had been good for that man if he had not been born. Then Judas, which betrayed him, answered and said, Master, is it I? He said unto him, Thou hast said.